So, it's funny. I made several video responses to Abba and Preach and their video when they were talking about this whole Chris D'Elia situation. And it was so long. There are so many parts, and it was so controversial. I was like, I can't release this video. I can't release these videos. And shoot, so I haven't created them. I mean, I still have the footage. I haven't uploaded it yet. But this video here, I started watching the first couple of minutes, and I was like, let me make a video response here, man. Let me take this bit all the way back to 2014. Okay, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, this video, I want to talk about it. I didn't finish it, so you're gonna get a lot of my raw takes. But this is a lady who worked with Chris a few times, according to her. She talks about what happened. So, for those of you who don't know, Chris D'Elia is a comedian, stand-up comedian, who has been caught talking to underage girls. Now, this is a spoiler alert. As it turns out, Chris actually has responded with the receipts to show that every time the girl mentioned that she was underage, he stopped communicating with her. But this is going to be important. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about it in another separate video too. I didn't talk about it in the video response I made to Alba and Preach, but I'll talk about everything. We'll talk about it all. Right now, we're going to respond to this video here. I'm going to skip a little bit ahead because first it's a little bit of a preamble, and then we're going to get to the stuff that we really need to chat about. She's going to take us away.
Oh boy. I'm going to guess first what probably went on with Chris. I'm going to give you my thoughts on Chris just candidly. So Chris is a kind of a weird guy. Personally, I never saw him hitting on women. I never saw him, trying to sleep with girls like I saw the other comics doing. Okay. So he just kind of did his work and left and kept his head down. Wasn't like flirty like the other guys. My guess is because Chris doesn't drink, he probably, relates to people a little bit differently. So he's probably alone on the road and he's scrolling through Instagram and sees a pretty girl. He hits up that girl and, for fun, he's chatting him up a little bit. He doesn't know how old they are. That's my guess. He's probably just seen a picture of some symmetrical, soft-faced young thing.
What was that about? What was that about?
And he chats him up. Okay, I think in one of the messages it said the girl, when she told him she was 17, he didn't respond back to her. Okay, so do I think that's cool behavior? No, it's gross.
Now, I want to be fair to her, but I'm not really entirely sure how I'm supposed to interpret that statement. Because if the girl said she was 17 and he stopped responding to her, are you saying that it was gross that he stopped responding to her, or that it was gross that he was talking to her from the beginning? Because the first thing you said was that he probably didn't know how old she was, but the moment he knew how old she was, he left it alone. Is that not what you're supposed to do? Aren't you supposed to? What's gross about that? Now, maybe she was referring to something else, but I don't really know. Or maybe what she's trying to say is gross, is that he was trying to hit and quit. I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out.
Okay, but what I want to say is it's no grosser than all these other comedians that actually are trying to pick up women to sleep with them. Women that they don't want to be their girlfriends. They don't want to be their wives. They don't want relationships with these girls. They just want to fuck.
Now, listen. I'm with you. I agree with you. That, pumping and dumping, it's a little gross. It ain't right. You probably shouldn't treat women in this manner. But are we going to sit here and pretend that, We're gonna sit here and pretend that like these niggas didn't try to accrue their status so they would have an easier time trying to date women. Like we're gonna sit here and pretend that they're just not cashing in the chips that they have spent much of their lives as young men trying to cash into. I'm gonna be honest with you, my friend. Like if we lived in a world where like people were women were a little bit more on par and like reasonable with the men that they try to date and be with, like social status probably wouldn't be such an alluring thing for women to go for. Like you say that it's gross that these guys are like pumping and dumping, and sure, should they do it? No, I don't really think so personally. But like I'm gonna sit here and pretend that like women don't make it easy for like affluent, rich men with higher social status to just utilize them. Yeah, they do. That's what they want. They do make it easy. It's not, I mean, if women didn't make it easy, then like these men wouldn't be able to do it. It's not on the men for like playing the game. Like they're playing the game. Like they didn't make the rules. Women made the rules. Women are the ones who make it easy. Like men have just adapted to just what women are doing. That's all they did. They it's an adaptation. Women were just like, hey, you have to be kind and reasonable and thoughtful and write me poems and treat me well. You wouldn't be able to pump and dump them. So, I'm not really sure why you're criticizing them for that behavior when it's women who are feeding into it.
And it happens over and over and over again. So you're all hypocrites to just be like, oh my God, this is awful, and then to just stop talking to him or not talk to him at all. Talk about predatory behavior. Women are just preyed upon by men, period.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, listen. Unfortunately, male sexuality is more active than female sexuality. But that's mostly out of necessity. Or maybe it's been cultivated over millions of years of evolution. I don't know. I don't know why it's this way. I don't know why it be this way. I can only use post hoc rationalization. But it be this way. The unfortunate nature is women are not sexually... Do not sexually approach the vast majority of men. The men women do sexually approach are the men with lots of status. They do. And I've seen it, listen, I've seen it on TikTok. I can probably create you a whole montage of girls salivating over handsome, attractive men and those girls DMing them. Women are certainly going to be outwardly sexual towards men in this particular day and age. With men that they want. With highly attractive men. Higher status men. Or high demand men. That's just what women do. Men are predatory towards women, quote unquote, because we have to approach them, because we have to convince them to like us. That's just the nature of the situation. We didn't make it this way. That's just how it is. And having status makes it so that the women come to you. That's just how it be. I didn't make it this way. I just recognize patterns. I'm sorry it be this way, except I'm not, because I didn't make this world.
I'm 41. I just got out of a 3-month relationship where the guy pursued me hard just to sleep with me and painted himself a certain way, and then once they sleep with us, they've got a side piece or two side pieces, and then they're on to the next girl. This is just behavior of men.
Friend, buddy, pal, listen, let me burst your bubble here, but you got pursued by Chad. You are describing the behaviors of Chad, okay? Okay? Of higher status males, high demand males, okay? The accountant who goes home and plays D&D with all his friends, he's not doing that, okay? The streamer who plays League of Legends for an audience of 10 people, he's not it, Chief. The garbage collector, that's not him. You're talking about men that have options. You're talking about men who can. And the reason why they can do this is because women are throwing themselves at these guys. Now, I have pontificated upon all of the reasons as to why women do this. Well, maybe not all of them, but numerous times on my channel. I've gone over this on several different occasions. But like, you're criticizing the fact that like men be, or in a response to what women are doing. Like, this is a response to what women are doing. And sorry that you got, pumped and dumped by Chad, but you didn't have to be with him. You could have dated a regular accountant, but,
Not condoning it. I think it's all disgusting. Okay? I'm just saying Chris didn't sleep with these girls. As for the age, okay? I lost my virginity at 16. And if it had been today, it would have probably been something I could have reported because I was drunk. I didn't even know what was going on. That was the 90s. You just sucked it up. You didn't say anything. And I got over it, and it probably, messed with my head in a way that caused like some certain sexual dysfunctions. It probably did. I haven't fully dealt with it even today.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot straight with you, buddy. Being drunk, even in the 90s at 16, and then like not dealing with it years later, yeah, you probably do have some unresolved trauma in there, probably. But I don't know you, so I can't really say.
That was my decision to just let it go. Okay, I'm just saying that times are different now. I'm thankful that women are able to have more of a voice about this predatory male behavior, but let's not just pin it all on Chris, okay, for some chats and some pictures. I will say I don't know who these girls are. I don't necessarily buy that they're just innocent young kids that had no idea what they were doing. Let's look at Instagram and why girls post pretty pictures of themselves. Anytime a girl posts a pretty picture of herself, she wants attention, period.
I appreciate how based you are. I mean, I know I'm not really even being all that abrasive in this particular video, but you are switched on. I appreciate that.
All right? Maybe it should be a conversation the parents should have with the women that just say, hey, you're a beautiful girl, you're going to put pictures out there, and guys are going to want to sleep with you. They're going to want to chat you up. Every time I put a picture out there, I get hit up by men. And it's human nature. It's the male-female dynamic, and a lot of times we like it. We like the power dynamic. I dated comedians for years. No, it was never dating because they didn't want a relationship with me. I once wrote an article. It was under a secret name, and it was entitled, "If Twitter Gave Blowjobs, Comedians Wouldn't Need Girlfriends." That was because I would hang out with these comedians. All they would want is blowjobs. And they want attention from you, but they don't want you to actually, be there as an emotional support. They definitely don't want to be there to emotionally support you. That's the last thing they can deal with. They want to use women as objects. All these guys do. All these tearful and like these posts from these men saying it's just horrible. Maybe you got over that phase in your life, but there was probably a time for most of you that you just wanted girls around to either alleviate your loneliness, to bang you, to give you blowjobs. It wasn't for a relationship or something deeper than that.
Listen, fam. You're mad at Chad, and I'm sorry Chad hurt you. I'm sorry you were used by Chad. I'm sorry. But this just ain't it, Chief. This just ain't the reflection of just regular Joe Schmo. Okay? This ain't John Smith. John Smith ain't just going around just getting random blowjobs from chicks after he does a comedy set. Let's be fair, fam. Let's be real. I'm gonna put this on you. Were you under any obligation to give these guys blowjobs? No. Were you under any obligation to even attempt to form a relationship with these guys? No. Why were you even attracted to these guys from the beginning? Let's be real. Because they had some degree of status. Because they were funny. Because they made you feel good about yourself. If you gave these guys blowjobs under the pretenses that you thought you'd get a relationship, well then that was you. You played yourself. Listen, if you want, there are plenty of men. There are more men who are going to be kind and courteous and love you and treat you well. And you didn't pick them. You can't call that male nature because you didn't pick the men who wanted to have a family with you. And you're really using this video to complain again about Chad. You're complaining about the fact that guys use women. Guys can't use women unless women are trying to get something from those guys. They can't. If women demanded men respected them, if women demanded men invest more into them in order to get something back, guess what? Guys, they would tighten up. Because guess what? The woman or the end is more important. And guess what? There are plenty of men who 100% want to have families. They want relationships. They want to love women. They want to be there with women. But guess what? Some of them are too short. They're too skinny. They're too ugly. Their eyes are mismatched. Some of them are black. Some of them are Mexican. Some of them are Chinese. They're Chinese. But the point, that's offensive. But the point is, my friend, you're projecting your miserable experience with guys that you wanted onto all of us as male nature, when in reality, you're just talking about a particular type of guy who wanted to use women. And you got used. And it sucks you got used, but you should have just demanded more. You should have. And you didn't. And that's on you. That's not on me. I've never had that stage. I've never had this stage where I was just like, let me just use women and just get blowjobs and whatnot. I've always tried to form a family with them. And part of it's probably my trauma from growing up and from, within a single mother. Like watching my family, my mom and dad get a divorce. That probably 100% solidified this idea into me, into making sure I have a strong, tight connection with the woman. So my children don't have to deal with the trauma I felt with. 100%. 100%. Probably. I wouldn't put it past me. But I never had this. I never felt this. If you would have just picked me, you would have been. I know I'm a PMAB. I'm a PMAB. I'm a PMAB. I'm a PMAB. But seriously, dude, you're mad at Chad. This isn't the reflection of male behavior. It's particular of people that have status and people who don't respect you. That's what that is.
And it happens all the time to women. So I'm thankful for the Me Too movement. Do I think that Chris needs to be getting thrown under the bus by his friends right now, though? No, it's super shitty.
No. See, I hate the Me Too movement because it pretends that women have no agency. It pretends that women don't purposely select men of this caliber. They do. If you had integrity, if you had honor, if sex meant anything to you, if sex had any weight to you, you would not trade it in for an opportunity for some guy that has status. If you respected yourself, if you had a recognition of what you were risking, you wouldn't do it. That's indicative of your disrespect as a woman. If you're going to trade potentially making another person so you can get your vagina filled up by a guy who's just popular, someone who it doesn't mean that they're righteous. It doesn't mean that they're kind. It doesn't mean that they're reasonable. It doesn't even mean that they're smart. If you're going in for these guys who are going to get drunk after a comedy club show, they might be funny. Well, you have to have some degree of intelligence to be funny, you would hope. Maybe sure they have that. That doesn't mean they're virtuous. It doesn't mean they're going to be there for you. It doesn't even mean that they like you. It doesn't even mean they're a nice person. If you're going to trade your vagina for that, I got nothing for you, fam. You can't put that on men. We didn't make the system. We didn't do this. We can't even change it. It doesn't matter how much as a man that you respect women. And I mean, you really care about them as people. You like talking to them. You like being around them. You want to create stories for them, say that. You want to build a life for them. You want to entertain. It doesn't matter. If the woman doesn't pick you because you don't have status, if she makes it difficult to try to date her because of her trauma, but she gives it up to Chad, I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. I really don't. That's not on us. I will say, I know in this video I'm mostly responding to her points about men, not really Chris. I mean, I spoiled it already. Chris is absolved. He showed us the receipts. He showed us the money. These girls were lying. So, if you got to this point in the video and you're like, sirs, why aren't you talking about her points on Chris? I spoiled it. In case you didn't recognize the spoiler alert.
And you people that haven't actually even talked to him, or you're just canceling him from your Instagram following and coming out on your podcast saying this stuff is horrible, well, maybe take a note from Jesus and he who has, the thorn in their own eye. What does Jesus say?
Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. Judge not, that ye not be judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? I just had to do it to you.
Look not at the splinter in somebody else's eye without looking at the log in your own eye. Like he who hasn't made a sin cast the first stone. All that stuff. I mean, I learned this stuff growing up in church. If he wasn't convicted in a court of law, then let's just calm down. And if there was like an allegation of bodily harm, of rape, I understand that one situation where there was the two girls and he exposed himself to them. I'll tell you, I've been in situations similar where at the time it's fun and you feel excited and in awe that you could be in the presence of a celebrity like this. And you know what? It was every bit on me as it was on them. Because I put myself in that situation and I liked it. Again, we're looking at, people are saying the age of these girls. I think that there's all different kinds of maturity levels, and the parents just need to be real with the girls that this is life in the social media age.
I know I've been getting on her, but I mean, she's based. I mean, you know, we just have disagreements in certain areas.
I'm not condoning what Chris did. I'm not condoning any of the comics. I just want to say that all of you guys do this to women. You all do. So women, need to speak out, but I don't think we need to necessarily point fingers at one person without looking at the way men treat women as a whole.
I mean, okay. In conclusion, now you guys see why this was destiny, okay? I had to do it. I had to do it to him, okay? Because as far as the Chris stuff is concerned, he's absolved, okay? Like, he showed the receipts. Every time the girl said that she was underage, he stopped it. I don't know what else you want. What do you want? I don't know. But our lady friend here, I don't like... You'll notice that she does have a bit... At one point, she'll accept responsibility for herself and say she liked it and she enjoyed it. But then she'll still be upset with the males for indulging in it, despite the fact that lady, you are showing us the fruit of their labor. You are the fruit of their labor. My man Dave Chappelle once said, "Our tests in life are different. A woman's test in life is material. A man's test in life is a woman." And by test, I mean that those are the things that we desire. If a man could fuck a woman in a cardboard box, he wouldn't buy a house. And it's true. It's true. It's true. The truth of the matter is, and anyone who's like red-pilled and switched on and all that, understand that women make it very easy for the men that they want in our contemporary society, okay? They do. If a woman wants you, she'll make it easy, okay? She will. She will. She will. She will. And it gets easier to make women want you when you have status, when you have money, when you have abilities, when you are handsome, when you're beautiful, when you're blah, 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 blah. The truth of the matter is, unless women demand more for themselves, there's nothing men can do. We can't. We can't do anything. The only thing we can do is sit in loneliness by trying to be virtuous and kind to women and see that it produces absolutely nothing for years and years and years until maybe you find a single mother and she'll accept you. You can do that. Maybe you can get lucky. Maybe you could find a good one. Maybe when you're young and you can keep her. Maybe. But the vast majority of guys are not pumping and dumping. The vast majority of guys, they're not getting DM'd. They're not getting a bunch of girls emailing them. They're not getting a bunch of sweet attention from, they're not. They're just, lots of guys are married They're married and they're not getting that. Buddy, pal, friend, amiga. Women make it easy for men with status. If you don't want it to be easy for men with status to use women, then you have to teach women to obtain some pride. Because otherwise, there's nothing to change. It's probably just anything gonna get a lot worse. With that being said, I just hope you guys got something out of today's video, and if you did, man, go and click the like button. And shoot, go and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below, and as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.